7th installment of the Eye to Eye colloquial start timestamp with air and electricity. Today we have Southampton-based rapper Forbes with us.
Good.
Forbes,
Yes.
I see you're involved with the Southampton scene and that. So when did you
Yeah.
start getting involved in rapping? And then when did you start meeting other Southampton rappers and that?
Yeah, so it's quite a history to it, to be fair, man. I'm pushing towards 30s now kind of thing. So fucking started early teens, about 12, 13, around St. Mary's, started up at a youth club.
Oh, no.
Yeah. So there's a few guys locally who were initially part of that. So I was Funky, Riskology, they were the runners of it. And then as for local artists, I'm at Triggs Triggs Legacy.
Yeah.
So I've been with them for quite some time, and yeah, it's just sort of built up from there. I wasn't really too engaged with it as much back then, but doing it, and it's just sort of turned into what it is now. That's the foundations of it.
So you're Southampton, born and raised, always lived in Southampton?
Yeah, man. So I was born, obviously, Aldermore, like most people in Southampton are. Born up in the General, and then moved to Birmingham for a few years of my life. But that was in early sort of 7, 8 years old, and then back Southampton, and been there ever since, man.
Nice. So you mentioned you started rapping from your early teen days. When do you think you started mastering how to rap, how to make a song?
I wouldn't say I've even mastered it, to be fair, man. I just say fucking. It's a case of just getting better and better. But maybe in recent years, to be fair, I've started to think maybe I could do something with it, rather than it just being a sort of side hobby. Sort of thinking now maybe I'm at a standard where maybe I could push for something that's a bit a more career out of it, sort of thing. You know what I mean?
In terms
the first lyric, awful.
Say again, sorry?
First lyrics I wrote, I wouldn't even want to hear these days. There's so much gas involved in that stuff. But I think that's needed to get to a point where you know where you are with your craft and that.
Trial and error.
Exactly.
Yeah, speaking on your rap career, are you looking to stay independent, or if a label comes calling with your right deal, that's something you look towards?
To be honest, I like having complete control of what I'm doing. So for that reason alone, I never really thought of the whole label side of things. If there was some sort of financial backing in any way, I'll be more inclined to accept it. But as long as I have to pay it back with some crazy interest rate, but still, more often than not, the independent grind suits me just right, man.
So what's your process in making songs? Is it beats or
yeah, so I tried producing, and I haven't got the patience for producing, to be honest. But so if I get sent an instrumental, it's more so that the case, or I search through YouTube if I'm in a writing mood, and then it'll be a case of playing the beat, and I never really listen through to the beat in whole to start with. It's really weird like that. I sort of just write as soon as it starts, reload it, and just keep going back and just build it up like that. So by the time I've got to the last verse is the first time I'm hearing the last verse, sort of thing. So it's just how I build it like that, man.
Well, that's an interesting process.
Yeah, so, it's really weird, man. It's just something I've developed over the years, and I've realized that is my process without even realizing it was. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's mad.
So do you have some go-to producers? You mentioned going on YouTube for beats.
Yeah, so lately for people that I know, there's Monarchy. He's made a big bang on the scene recently, making tons of beats. Vibe Chemistry, Tyler, TK. So there's a couple of producers. But as for outside of that circle, there's a couple of YouTube guys this guy called Yondo. He's got sick beats, fucking True Hippie. It's all type beats kind of guys, but they're just dope, man. Just fucking dope, and sort of fit the sound real well. Nice. But yeah, I've never. It's hard to know, because a producer, every time they're making a beat, is going to come with something fresh. So it's could be someone who's made 600 shit beats and made one good one, and then all of a sudden I'm hooked on that. Do you know what I mean?
So I've seen you collaborate with a lot of artists as well. You just mentioned Vibe Chemistry, TK, Monarchy. Those are producers you've collabed with. And then obviously you've collabed with other rappers, Biochemic and the singer JD. So what's your process in collaboration like?
Okay, so generally a lot of the time with the age of the internet, it's a case of like communicating through that, especially with what's going on at the minute.
Yeah.
It'd be a case of sort of back and forth between a certain chat or Biochemic, I'm sort of like, he's local to me, so I'm able to sort of check him every now and then. But yeah, it's more a case of like gauging the concept and then back and forth and seeing if the verse is fitting like that way and then hitting studio. But moving forward, I would definitely like to get in studio and collab with artists that way. Don't really do that too often.
Like a home studio or like
a... it'll be like a studio, hourly rate sort of studio.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Haven't got the setup for a home studio just yet. Although I have just got a mic recently, so
nice.
A lot more productive recently.
Well, was that a quarantine purchase that inspired you?
Pretty much, man. Yeah, no, fucking quarantine made me realize I should have done it years ago, but this happened.
Yeah. Silver linings, I guess.
That's it, man. That's it. Literally. Yeah.
Like the music you've made, that I've heard anyway, seems to be like quite introspective, quite lyrical. Like, were you inspired by English or American artists more so to begin with?
Initially, growing up, it was.
I've also seen you reference Lupe Kick Push on Company.
Yeah. Like, oh man, you know that Lupe was the first live artist I see. Actually, I was about 12, 13 at Somerset House in London. It was sick,
I know that venue. That's dope.
Yeah, man. That was I owe that to my friend Jamal, old school, old friend from back in the day. Yeah, man. But yeah, went to see Lupe. But yeah, American influences initially were pretty strong, like Kanye, whatnot, and then I was really into grime as well. So it's sort of like a merge of your hip hop from the grime, and then it's all clashed to sort of create what I'm into. It's a bit mad for the influence.
And this is a question Drew, the editor, has thought of. Like, were you more influenced by London or Southampton artists? Like you mentioned, being in the youth club in Southampton, and of course, Southampton scene is more on the. It's upcoming now. Like back then, I'm not sure like how active it really was.
That's a good question, man. So London was sort of like the guys that it filtered down to Southampton, places like Southampton. So you had like the old, in the early days of YouTube, it was like the fucking back of the bus freestyles, that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
And I feel like that did have influence in Southampton. Like way back when, there was quite a few like sort of crews, I say. So you have like the St. Mary's lot, 4-0 lot, and they were all sort of making tunes. And although it wasn't like serious, they sort of paved the way, I think, for all us guys in Southampton.
I've seen some of those like really old music videos.
Oh mate,
anybody interested that's like in the Southampton area might put one of your bio this vid or something. Yeah. So you'd say that like you were inspired by whatever you were seeing, really, whether it's from Southampton and London.
Yeah. So yeah. I'd say like initially the inspiration was from London guys, and then seeing like my sort of local surroundings being involved in the vids and that, I was like, this is something I can do as well. Like, so yeah, both played a part, I'd say. Both played a part, man.
Nice. This is like this is our first like eye-to-eye like interview series where it's someone I haven't actually met in person. Like this is our first time speaking and meeting. So obviously I can't go into like as much personal stuff because I don't know it. But like I've been listening to your songs, and then there's a lyric or two that I've like noted down, and I just want you to like develop on them, like tell us a bit about it. So I saw you say nightmares so raw. I could have swear I've seen God. So like what? That's like so visceral. Like, could you tell us what you would kind of saying of that?
It's just like when you're awake. Do you know what? It's a weird one because I believe in something. So like I'm not gonna say like I'm no atheist or stuff, but that was more of like it was just like times where tough when I'm at night trying to and like seeing the right path, and like when I'm awake and all these thoughts I've been living through like some shit and like thinking about them times, and then there's just sort of like having epiphanies of like what I got to do, like, and that's what I'm sort of getting at with that, like, you know what I'm saying.
Also in terms of like you've been involved with the Southampton scene, I've seen you work with a Clubhouse quite a lot. So I'm interested in like that connection, like kind of tell us what they're doing there.
Okay, so that's initially through my guy Joe Veer. He's a friend of mine. Yeah, he put me onto Clubhouse because he's friends with the owner. Sort of like initially started. I went out to an event in London and performed at that event with them. And it's just sort of went from there. I believe.
Is that the event where you shout out Southampton saying like, "This is me docs"? Like,
yeah,
I've seen that clip.
I said, "This ain't London. This is the."
That's it.
Yeah, probably speaking out of turn there, but still.
How did people react to that in the crowd?
Sorry.
How did people react to that in the crowd? Like,
you know what? It was cool, man. They were actually. I don't think there was anyone from like ends in the crowd, which was all right. It went down all right.
Yeah.
But yeah, it went down all right. Still went down all right.
So in terms of like Clubhouse, are they just kind of like they do events and achieve they also do with clothing, and then you're just one of the artists like we've kind of like worked with on that front?
Yeah, that's it. So I think they've sort of like come to Southampton and they're looking to get a foot in the door.
Nice.
With like building events. I sort of liked the direction they were going with it. So yeah, I was on board, man. Definitely on board.
Oh,
definitely
dope.
push that sort of thing forward. Yeah.
In terms of rapping and doing events, you've obviously been rapping for a long time. When did you start like doing performances, and how was like that first performance? And did you get used to it straight away, or kind of took a few?
Still to this day, I wouldn't say I'm used to it. Even when I know what I can do, but still like pre-nerves and that. It's a thing. But yeah, first performance was way back when there was a K2 festival in Southampton. It was real good. It was in Hoglands Park. They had like several stages. This is when youth funding was a thing and youth clubs are a thing.
Yeah.
This is like something that was real sort of like at the front back in the day. So yeah, that was the first time. It's quite a big stage for like a little 12, 13-year-old to get up on. And I remember, it was like, it was cool. It was cool. It was like a little like community event. And I do remember sort of shitting it, if I can say that. But I was like, but yeah, it's got better as time progressed. But yeah, starting out was absolutely terrified of getting on stage.
So when do you think you got used to performing a bit more? Like you said, you're still not used to it now. But when do you think it kind of became more of a second thought?
Okay.
Like went away a little more.
I say when I started doing like a lot more open mics.
Oh,
open
nice.
Mic, definitely. I'm not the biggest fan of open mics, but if you're trying to learn your craft and you're trying to improve that way, I'd say I'm all for it. I'm all for open mics in that sense because they help me a lot. Stuff like Mango, Thursday night jam, being able to sort of do your tracks with a load of session musicians. That's definitely helped.
Wow. Yeah,
man. I'd definitely recommend getting down there if you haven't been. Obviously, when it's
I'll be sure to check it out. Whereabouts in Southampton is it?
Do you know Ocean Village? It's a Mango. Yeah, they got like a little tiki basement. It's proper cool, man. Soweto Kinch, she's like a jazz artist, a saxophone player. There's been a few times I've gone down and he's there and he's like pretty big in that scene. So it's always good to see like new faces that you wouldn't expect as well.
That's dope for sure. So you mentioned doing those open mics with like session musicians. Would that be something that you would incorporate into your music or like live performance?
There was a funny little phase. I said, it was probably a phase to be fair. Where I was performing with like a live band. We was doing sort of like, it was. I don't want to say Rage Against the Machine because it's definitely weren't on that sort of level, but it was like it was that sort of sound. It was like grunge sort of drums and with my rapping over it. It was dope, but it fell apart quite quick, which is a shame. It would have been cool.
Was it almost like too many moving parts? Like it was hard to maintain?
That's it. And I think we all sort of had other ideas, and it wasn't really the commitment that was needed for it. So, I'll definitely do something like that again. I think hip hop is best when played out of like live instruments and that. I definitely prefer like performance in that sense.
The Roots.
Man. Oh, Roots are fucking dope, bro. Yeah, straight up.
Speaking of the roots, like, is there any other American artists, you mentioned Lupe and Kanye, that you really like resonate with?
Okay, recently, Freddie Gibbs, because he just don't give a shit, and I love that, man. He's fucking, he just bars out, and then same way he's got a personality that's kind of like, yeah, fucking, I can do what I want, and I love that. That resonates with me. Joey Badass, I used to listen to a lot of him.
Yeah,
a lot
me
of
too.
like so-called, like, I didn't know at the time, but now it's called like backpack rap sort of stuff like that. Like, yeah, man. It's,
so kind of like old school hip hop, where it's not got to be gangster elements as much, like a trap.
That's it. Although I have recently started listening to Styles P a bit, and he's a fucking G, bro. He's sick. But he's knowledgeable as well, and he's put me onto lots of healthy food, which I rate for him.
So speaking of not being a knowledgeable rapper and like positivity again with like healthy food that Styles P mentions, like when you're writing, are you constantly trying to be on that kind of wave, or you just write what you feel, or build both? Like, I'm interested in your writing process. Just from hearing your stuff, I can tell you care about writing as much as making a song.
I like to experiment with my flows and that, and challenge it, and to sort of provoke thought with it. One thing that does my head in, no director, any MC, but when sort of like someone's writing and they do a punchline and then it's get it and they drop that, I'm like, you don't need to do that, man. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, fucking hell. So like, my sort of idea is, if I'm writing something, I'll put it in like a puzzling way. So maybe you won't get it straight away, but you could be walking down the road one day and it'll be like, oh, that's sort of where I'm at with it. That's what I like. I like to create thought, man, I think, with my writing. And definitely that I'm conscious of it when I am writing as well, and like how it will be perceived and sort of thing. Yeah.
Okay, that's dope. Where does that inspiration of writing come from? Like, except from the rappers you listen to, are you like big on reading or listening to spoken poetry? Like,
I wish I could say I was big on reading, man. I've got the attention span of a fish most times. I don't know if they got a long attention span, but I haven't got one too.
People always say goldfish have like low attention spans. I'm not sure how factual it is, but it's like saying.
Yeah, I don't know. But yeah, so like, I listen to a lot of music. I listen to a lot of like different genres. I take a lot of influence from that, and a lot of.
Which genres?
I like listen to a lot of soul, like a lot of neo soul lately.
Yeah. Erykah Badu, Jill Scott.
That's it. They carry emotions well, man. They probably some of the best at getting emotions out, and I sort of think that's something that's quite pivotal to like the way I write. So I'm trying to.
I definitely hear that. Because like there is a few rappers, I'm not sure if you know, like Mick Jenkins, where they say that that's inspired by neo soul as rap, and in our raps it does come across. And definitely with you, I can hear that. And what other genres are you interested in? Because on Company, the production is very like D&B inspired.
Yeah. I've got a massive soft spot for D&B. I grew up in a time where dubstep was just emerging as well. So like Scream, them sort of guys, and they went hand in hand. I had a friend who like was massively into drum and bass, and I found from that age I was able to sort of like rap on drum and bass. So from then, it's always been a soft spot for me, man.
Was that something? Is that something you've ever done or ever would do, like being a D&B MC, like a rapper?
I've done a few raves. I've performed at a couple of raves. But yeah, in the future, I've definitely got some stuff in the pipeline for drum and bass, for the drum and bass genre. Yeah, sooner than you think, in fact. Like,
I'm interested to see. Would you say you're in your lane, like you enjoy doing it, or?
I love doing it. Yeah, I love it, man. I like the versatility. I'm a big music man. I do like doing all sorts like that. I find it a bit difficult to pocket myself in one genre. I really can't do that. If I like an instrumental, I'm just like, yeah, I want to be on that. Like, yeah.
Hey. And I guess that goes hand in hand with a grime as well, which you said was big with you when you were growing up.
Yeah. Absolutely. That was more so because I was being a little like dickhead around the streets of Millbrook and whatnot. I was a little asshole, man. But yeah, that's where that went hand in hand with the grime, the stinking attitude and that sort of thing. Like.
Nice. Yeah, I guess with grime as well, like a lot of grime rappers when they are rapping, but trying to give off an image and show. Of course, we're speaking the truths, or whatever. But then you have the other scale where it's like a devil man, where he's almost like making a character. So like with Forbes, do you think you're trying to like have an alter ego or whatever, or Forbes is you? Like Forbes goes hand in hand with yourself.
I respect artists like Devilman who do stuff like that. It reminds me of MF Doom with a lot of his
definitely.
Like, and you do definitely have a lot more of a creative outlet if you're creating them alter egos. I see
you can say the craziest stuff, and then it's almost hidden because you're wearing a mask or like you're playing a character.
Exactly. But for me personally, I do speak of my own experiences. I haven't really dabbled in the side of having an alter ego. So what I write about at the minute and most stuff out there at the minute is direct reflection of me. But pushing in the future, it's definitely something that's interesting, especially hearing like MF Doom side of things. I couldn't really do it in the way that Devilman does because I don't think my head. I wouldn't want to take my head to that sort of place. But I am. So I'm more writing from my sort of my perspective rather than it being an alter ego.
In relation to that, like, where did the name Forbes come from?
Okay, so it's actually my surname. I started out as Forbes. Inspired by my big brother, he was also writing a lot, rapping as I was growing up. And only in recent years, I sort of felt like I'd outgrown it, wasn't really doing the grimes predominantly. So I wanted to make it a bit more universal, a bit more sort of true to me. And so I just thought, let me go with my surname. Couldn't really get more me than that. So man, that was the process behind that choice.
It's interesting you say that because we had a rapper on here yesterday who literally said the exact same thing. He was working with a name and then he just went to something that's like his actual name, but which know its meaning, but people which don't think it's another meaning, like that thing.
That's it. I guess it makes people ask questions as well, isn't it? Like, why is he called that? It's kind of but yeah, mine is literally just because it's my name. There is I'm not no Rich List magazine just yet, man.
Nice. So you just mentioned that you were on like a grime wave before. How did that like come and go? Like, was it you were listening to more grime, so you wanted to be a grime MC, and then you started listening to more like hip hop and rap in a different...
that's it. I think growing up, it was a lot about grime sets. I used to love a grime set, man. Like
what did you mics?
Yeah, that's it. A couple mics, DJ, and just that energy is so mad. But in terms of putting out tracks, I find with grime, you can make it what you want. I'm not going to say like you can't, but in terms of getting a message across that might not be sort of perceived as well on a grime beat, that's where sort of the transition happened. I was sort of felt I can say more or how I like to say it on a hip hop beat a lot better, rather than necessarily sticking with the grime. But yeah, the energy for grime that is still there. I just sort of use it as like a more of a hype outlet, I guess. But yeah, if the right grime beat comes along, I might get emotional on it one time, you know. But generally,
so I guess. Sorry, carry on.
No, I was just saying. Generally, for me, it is like a hype sort of thing. Like I do like grime.
And I guess having that experience as a grime MC polished up your rap skills as well, where you can move from like fast to the slower beats.
That's it, man. I never used to be able to flow too well in hip hop. It's something I had to work on because of the original sort of love for grime. But drum and bass helps with that. They're sort of the same tempo, drum and bass hip hop. If you slow it down, it's just quite cool. But yeah, man.
Nice.
That's a little trick of the trade there for anyone who's trying to write both. But yeah.
Is there any like other genres where you've got a strong interest in, or that you might even dabble in like stepping into creatively?
Yeah, I think garage. I think Southampton does garage really well. I think there's another local MC called Hotch. He's making waves in the garage scene right now. Yeah, I think garage is something definitely I'd like to do. I love everything about garage, man. The raves, fucking dancing, it's all sick. It's all good. Yeah, something I'd definitely dabble in. One I probably wouldn't is like screamo or something like that.
Yeah, whole different type of energy.
Yeah, don't get me wrong. If someone put it on, I'd probably find myself nodding to it, but I'm not actively searching to.
Yeah,
that's
I hear it hurts people's vocal cords as well. Like if they do it too much, it hurts people's vocal cords. Like these screamo like.
Oh man, yeah, not healthy at all. Yeah, it's like
just like another form of expression. Yeah, like, just a more extreme one.
Yeah, it's true. That's why I can't hate. Like I'm not hating. It's just a thing where I just couldn't really ever see myself doing that. To be honest. Yeah. But all respect to them who are. To be honest, all respect to them who are.
Yeah, definitely. So again, like talking about your connection to the Southampton hip hop scene, I've seen your cypher a few times with a Vicinity team or like.
Oh yeah.
So I was wondering like how that came about. Like maybe tell us about like a few of the other rappers in the cypher, like.
Yeah, so that came about through Camilo Moose, who's like doing this interview thing.
Is he Southampton based?
I know he is at the minute, but I think, well, yeah, I think he is at the minute. Yeah, that's right. A few of the other artists, I think, are from surrounding areas. They may be down for uni and stuff like that. But yeah, so. We had a few beats to select, or in fact, he sent the beat to us. We all got right in. It was a bit of palaver on the day. We was gonna, I think, two halves wanted one beat, the other half wanted the other beat.
Really?
Yeah. It was a bit like, oh, how are we gonna do it? And then it did just pan out to be on that one beat, which was good. Obviously,
did you get the beat you wanted?
Initially, no. In all honesty, but I feel like it turned out all right. So. I can't hear. But yeah, we wrote that. We filmed it at Solent University in like a little studio thing there, which was cool. They got some good facilities, man.
Definitely. It's best in the world for music production, I think.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Mad. I went there for a year and absolutely it, man.
What course were you studying?
Music production.
Really? Oh, yeah. As you said earlier, you don't really have the patience.
No, not at all.
A lot of respect for producers. It's like I see it, and it's almost another language. Like,
it's literally
something I might try to get into as a hobby, but then like I don't even know. Well, what was your kind of experiences with it?
Literally that, man. If I can't sort of take to something straight away, I'm sort of a bit like disown it in a way. I'm like, I don't really want that. Yeah. Like, why would I want to do something I'm not good at? That's my sort of thing. But that's why I never got better.
Would you say you, even at 10, even at 12, 13, when you started rapping, you almost took to it straight away?
Yeah, so like, my first lyric I wrote when I was like 8 years old. And that was because of my dad is very into music. My brother, he was writing a lot. So there's a lot of influence around me. So yeah, I sort of, the rapping side of things I took to a lot more naturally than something I can't do anyway, the producing. You know what I mean?
So like you mentioned your brother a few times and your dad just now, like what kind of musical influence did they have on you, like growing up? And
so
did they get you into rap and grime? So could you say again, sorry, if your connection just kind of
sorry. My brother, he definitely pushed me into grime, rap side of things. My dad, he is a bit of like a myth with his music taste. You'd expect, from like he's a Caribbean man. And he sort of like put me onto stuff that's more like rock sort of based, like Nirvana and stuff like that. He's more into that type of things. My mum, who's a Caucasian white lady, Caucasian white lady, fucking white, essentially said. English lady. She's the one who put me into more reggae and stuff like that. It's
wow.
Yeah, man. So my mum was more into like that sort of, and then my dad's into like Queens of Stone Age and shit like that. Like,
so like stoner rock, like
Yeah,
progressive rock,
literally,
and as you
bro.
mentioned there with Nirvana grunge. So it's nice you get that like eclectic, wider range of music coming from your mom, dad, and brother.
Literally,
Yes.
man. That's it. It all ties in, and yeah, it's all just sort of had influences, and I've just pulled them from here and there and everywhere. Like, yeah.
Like Envy interview, would just be interested to hear. Obviously, you've told us what you were doing, what you've been doing, like during quarantine, kind of like you got a mic on that. But I
Yeah.
just want to know, like, how has quarantine affected your craft? What you were doing before, what you want to do after, and even after that, like, what are your plans for Forbes to be artist?
Yeah, bruv, this quarantine
Mm.
is been the best thing for me as an artist. I can't lie.
Yo, that's
I can't
really
lie.
good to hear. You're not the
Yeah,
first person to say that.
really. Yeah, yeah, like,
Not everyone, but I've heard like one, two other people like mention that, like that.
yeah. But honestly,
Mm.
that's before this quarantine, I was working 40-hour weeks.
Really?
Yeah, man. So like full-time work. That's why.
How do you have time for music and performances between that? Were you like taking shifts off or?
No, not even. Just sort of finish
Wow.
work and then carry it on when I'm home, and then
Mm.
yeah. So that's why this quarantine, man. I've actually, for the first time in my adult life, really been able to fucking like smash it. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I've been designing shit. I've been writing. I've been doing all sorts, man. Honestly, I feel as though if people are not, nah, I'm not going to say that, but
Mm.
if there was ever a time to get busy and do stuff for your craft, now
I
is
get what
it.
you mean.
Now's the time.
I get
Like,
what you mean. What
um,
kind of stuff have you been designing?
I've been designing stickers. I got a few stickers actually. Let me show you
Nice.
a little show and tell.
Definitely, definitely.
Yeah. So like, it's quite minor. I'm pretty new to the game, but these things.
Oh, that's clean still.
Yeah, it's all right, man. It's all right.
You have
But
much design experience or?
I, it's another thing going up with like hip hop. I used to like a lot of graffiti and that, like Mark
Yeah,
Echo's
yeah,
Getting Up on
yeah.
PS2. You remember that game? That was sick.
Yeah, and like Mark Echo, for people that don't know, he had a clothing brand that was big on the hip hop scene, and that
Yeah,
clothing
yeah.
brand also like was the seed that Complex magazine came from.
Is it
So
actually? I
yeah,
never knew
yeah,
that.
yeah. So like
Bro,
Complex used to be just a feature on Echo
okay.
Clothing, and then it
Mad.
grew to its own entity.
Damn, I never
Yeah.
knew that. That's insane.
So,
But yeah, so
so
like,
with your graffiti and design experience, do you think that helps you in your arts in some sense? Like, because
yeah,
if you say you're a rapper and that's
yeah,
your only creative outlet, and then you're just not thinking of bars, you might get stuck in a box. But
yeah,
like,
yeah.
because you have other things, do you think that helps?
Yeah, definitely, man. I don't view it as like a way of like, oh, I'm sort of running out of stuff to write about. Let me pick up a pen and
Yeah,
paper.
yeah.
It's more like, oh, I just fancy doing this, so I want to do it. Like,
Mm,
and I think it builds confidence in letting you put out what you want, man. I say
definitely.
don't shy away from putting out what you want, because some of the stuff out there, people definitely don't shy away from putting out what they want. So it's
Yeah,
definitely something you can take on board and use it as like, if they don't give a shit, or if they're confident in doing it, I can be as well. So like, yeah, just don't, if you can't do it, try it, I guess, isn't it? Like, unless it's producing.
it was producing something you'd ever go back to learning towards, even during quarantine with spare time.
I don't know, it's weird because I proper
Mm,
want, I know what beats I'd want to make, but
yeah,
translating that onto software just seems to be impossible at the minute, man.
yeah.
But watch this space, maybe one day.
Hopefully, hopefully.
You know, on a YouTube, I think it's Timberland, and he's like,
Yeah.
makes that beat for Jay-Z. It's like a little ad, and he's like, well, this is literally just this, this, and this. I'm like, it's not though, is it, man?
For sure.
But yeah,
I
like,
guess like you even if you can't make beats, but if you know the beats you want, and then it's
yeah,
just come to like being like having a good ear for beat
yeah,
selection and working with rap producers, and that
yeah,
could save you a lot of time as well. Like
definitely.
respect to the rapper producers, but I guess everyone who is rapping or making music needs to find like their own best method, and you've obviously
Yeah,
like found
yeah, yeah.
yours.
The other day, someone sent me a beat, in fact, and I was pretty
Yeah.
gassed off that. I felt like it was like someone who like listens to my stuff. So I was like, oh right, getting like Forbes type beats sent to me now. Like,
Is that the name of your new track?
my new one's gonna be Hello, my name is Forbes. That's the project.
Ah,
But
I
yeah,
see.
yeah,
So
yeah.
that's where the sticker comes from.
Yeah, it's like a reintroduction of me, man. I've just got loads of tunes to put out, so this is gonna be like that sort of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Before we went on that tangent, you were just telling us about like how quarantine is affecting you for the
Yeah, yeah,
best. Like, obviously, you were talking about your design, having more time for designs and stuff.
yeah.
Like, could you tell us a bit more about like what you've been doing during quarantine and like
Yeah,
what
of
you
course.
want to do after?
Aside from music, I've been staying pretty active. Like bike. If you
Nice.
haven't got a bike in quarantine, get a bike, man. Fucking, you just
Mm-hmm.
go anywhere for like that ride around. It's a new freedom. But yeah, outside of after quarantine, I think the first aim is to try fucking quit work somehow, because I've realized working 40-hour weeks is not the one. Working on my craft
Yeah.
is. I enjoy that a
Yeah.
lot more. And yeah, just basically trying to make something out of this in a way where I can turn it into a living. That's pretty much the aim, man.
Nice.
Um,
Monetize something you love.
yeah, literally, man. Because, like as I said, I've had this time to work on my craft, and it's proper been an eye opener. Like,
Yeah.
I suppose like this is probably the life I want to lead, rather than the 40 hours making someone else money and stuff like that. You know, which I'm not knocking anyone for that. Like,
Mm-hmm.
everyone's got to get their money, but it's made me realize I'm putting my energy in the wrong place with the work. But yeah.
Sweet. I hear that. I hear that. Best of luck with it. Like, to end the interview with like another segment where we're gonna hear you talk about anything you need to say. Like,
Yep.
I'm really interested in all your collaborations with the artists. Like you mentioned, like Biochemic is someone you live locally to. So I was
Yep.
like wondering if you could just talk about some artists that people need to hear, whether
Yeah.
it be like Southampton upcoming artists or like a band or rapper that you think's underappreciated that's established but still kind
Okay.
of.
So I'd say straight off the bat, Triggs. Triggs Legacy is probably one of my favorite artists, man. I think he's massively slept on, to be honest.
Yeah.
He
I'm the
never.
local as well, right?
Yeah, he's local too, just northern. Whereas, yeah, his writing is definitely inspirational to me. He doesn't waste a bar, sort of thing. Everything he puts down is hard hitting. He's another artist. He produces his own stuff as well. Writes his own stuff.
He's
Some of the
originally from like America as well, right?
Yeah, Philadelphia, man. He's got some cool stories as well. You should
Mm.
definitely pick his brains for them stories, because, yeah, man, he's got some. Well, Philly's obviously home to quite a few rappers like Meek, battle
Mm.
rappers, and yeah, he's got some stuff, man. So some good stuff to talk about. He's
Nice.
yeah, he's dope. He's dope. Other artists, I say obviously Biochemic, AK. They're making waves respectively in their lanes. Like Biochemic, I don't know if that guy ever stops writing. He has like a million projects out. It's so sick. He just he's just always working, which is cool. Who else is there? It's hard off the top of my head, man. It's hard because yeah, I'm real picky with what I like. I don't want to, and that's not to piss on anyone's parade. It's just more like I need to like it to be able to.
Nice. So you
To shout it
mentioned
out.
Briggs, legacy artist, Defcon Lawless, Biochemic, and AK. We'll be sure to
Yeah.
put like links to their songs and stuff in the bio as well.
What's that? Oh yeah,
Be
definitely.
sure
Yeah,
to.
yeah. Sound. Yeah, that'd be blessed. That'd be blessed. Yeah, working on as I say, like a new project. So yeah, that'd be cool, man.
And now,
You,
like with yourself, like, is there anything people should be checking out for? Of course, not really shows or anything, but are you really planning to release much? You mentioned, hi, my name is Forbes, right?
yeah. Hello, my name is Forbes.
Hello,
It's
my name is
like
Forbes.
it's basically like all the tracks I've sort of been working on and haven't really found a place for them in a project as such. So they're just going to be. It's more like a mixtape sort of vibe. You know, put loads of like tracks in there. That might be like a volume thing as well, like volume 2, 3. Just for sort of like tracks that may not sit as well in a home with an album sort of thing.
Yeah.
So got that up. As well as that, yeah, they're going to be working on some videos soon. So that'll be coming up. And I've got quite a few exciting projects coming up with a few other producers that I haven't worked before, but they're quite big in like quite big in the dance sort of side of things, rave scene.
Nice.
Yeah, man. So hopefully that will be surfacing soon, and yeah, you lot will all love it, and make me the best ever.
Hey,
Wait, I was saying.
exactly right mentality to have.
Yeah. But yeah, man, that's the stuff to look out for. I've got stuff coming, man. Got stuff coming for sure.
Thanks. It's been really nice meeting you and talking to you. Like,
yeah, man.
You've dropped a lot of gems. Like, you've put me on some things about this Hampton scene that I didn't know about, which I'll be sure to like research more into.
Yeah, when it's over, bruv, we're a drink at Mango or something.
Most definitely. Most definitely.
Yeah. You enjoy it, bruv. It's sick. It's good.
Thank you.
I want for no one on to cater. See, I can do it big or I can do it small. Done it in size, I can do it in the mall. Or I can do the most, or I can do the least. I can turn goals, what's in it for some weeks? I can make it mad, yes I can make it mad. Go on as Trixie, I'm a lying as a fact. I can guarantee, I can rest assured. Trixie will agree, I'm out here making more. I can make me poor, I can make me rich.